So in the present video, I'll explain carrier sense multiple access. So in order to minimize the chance of collision and therefore increase the performance, the carrier sense multiple access method was developed. The chance of collision can be reduced if the station sends the medium before trying to use it. So before sending the data frame, the stations need to check the medium whether it is busy or not. So that method is called as carrier sense multiple access. So in the first diagram, we can observe that at time t1, station B sends the medium and finds it is idle. So it starts sending the frame. At time t2, the station C sends the medium and find it is idle, because at this time the first bits from station B have not reached station C. Station C also sends a frame. So the two signals collide and both frames are destroyed. So if you are sensing the channel or link before sending the data also, there may be a possibility of collision. So the vulnerable time for CSMA is the propagation time TP. So we are having some persistence method. First one is I persistent. So in the case of I persistent method, which is very simple and straightforward. So here the station finds the line idle. It sends its frame immediately whenever the station is idle. So it start sending the frame. So this method has the highest possibility of collision, because two or more station may find the line idle at the same instant and they can start sending the frames simultaneously. So in the case of non-persistence method, that is the second method, a station has a frame to send, so it will sense the line. So before sending the data or frame, the station need to sense the medium or link or line. So if it is idle, then only it will start sending the data. If the line is not idle, it waits a random amount of time and then sends the line again, and later it will transmit the data. But in the case of I persistence method, so randomly the data or frames can be transmitted, but in the case of non-persistence method, the station need to check whether the line is idle or not. If it is idle, then only it will transmit the data. So next is P persistence. So in the case of P persistent method, if the channel has time slots, so with a slot duration equal or greater than the maximum propagation time, the P persistent approach combines the advantages of the other two strategies. So it takes some few advantage of I persistence method as well as non-persistence method. So it reduces the chance of collision and improve efficiency. In this method, after the station finds the line idle, it follows these two steps. So with the probability of P, the station sends its frame. With the probability of Q, that is equal to 1 minus P, the station waits for the beginning of the next time slot and checks the line again. So with the probability of P, it will sends the data or frame. With the probability of Q, it will waits station will wait for the beginning of next time slot and checks the line again. If the line is idle, it go to step 1, that is it starts sending the data. So if the line is busy, it acts as though a collision has occurred and uses the back of procedure. So these are the representation of I persistence. So in the case of I persistent method, continuously the frames can be transmitted. So in the case of non-persistence method, if the channel is busy or link is busy, wait some random amount of time, once again sends and transmit the data. So with respect to P persistent, with the probability of P, the station can send the data. With the probability of Q, the station can wait for the beginning of next time slot, and if the line is idle, go to step 1. If the line is busy, so it act as a collision has occurred in the link. So this is the just representation of flow diagrams for 3 different persistent method.